So, for those who have joined, who are new to me, to this space, welcome. For those who have been here, that I've known you for a long time, who I've worked with, welcome. So happy to have you back. My work in this world is to support specifically women. I do work with some men, but specifically to support women in coming into alignment with their divine mission in this world. And not just coming into alignment with it, but also to take aligned action in their divine mission, to really do what they came here to do on a deep soul level, spiritual level. And what we're doing in this lifetime is beyond just this life. We're cultivating we're providing healing, love, harmony, alignment for ourselves and for others. And this is something that's happening over a period of lifetimes, many, many lifetimes, because as a collective, we are in descension and ascension periods. And so as a soul, we choose to come on earth, and when we don't complete, so to speak, our mission in the last life, we come back with a greater understanding, more wisdom, and we have to cultivate those gifts again and serve in a way and that's why our divine mission feels so intimate to us, because it's not just something that's activated just from this lifetime. It's something that's threaded across timelines within our own soul memory and in the memory of the earth, where our feet walked on the earth before, where the lands that call to us, how we commune with Mother Earth, because our evolution is inherently connected to the evolution of Mother Earth. And so this work as developing and understanding our divine mission goes so hand in hand with the development of our intuition, because no one can tell you what your divine mission is. And why that is because it is a divine mission. It's not just an idea you have from the faculty of your mind. It is a soul-guided knowing, and it is clearing yourself so that you're releasing the lower impulses, releasing the lower aspects of your ego, so that you are the clearest channel of God, of the divine. And so, of course, when we're working with us fully rising into our divine service, our intuitive abilities are so important to develop for ourselves, but most of the women I work with as well find that their intuitive gifts are meant to also be in service to others through intuitive readings, through other sacred work, art, creative work. So many different avenues through which you can use your intuitive channels. But today I wanted to discuss something that's a little bit that feels very important for this time with our intuition, is that developing our intuition is not just something that we do for fun or to feel better about ourselves or to feel like we've attained something, so to speak. We develop our intuition not to inflate our ego in any way, but it is a natural process of spiritual evolution. And when we evolve spiritually, our intuition will expand, it will grow, it will clarify. And this is so important at this time of life, this time that we are on earth right now, where there is a very intense gravitation towards technology. And technology that's being developed, especially when we're developing technology with a disconnection to understanding our spiritual self, we tend to think that technology is wiser or smarter or better than the human. And we need to understand what it means to be human deeply. We need to understand that we descended from the heavenly realms, that we didn't come from a lower form, and that we need to progress through technology and refine our form through technology. If we think that we came from a lower form, or that we can just physically manipulate the body to evolve, then we're going to create a future that's extremely degenerate. But when we understand that we are literally made in the image of God, we have our descended form from the angels, we can understand that the divinity within us is something that already exists. We must just awaken it. And that we have a genuine divine blueprint within our body. And through our spiritual evolution, through true initiation, we awaken our divine blueprint. And through that divine blueprint, we are able to experience the highest form of spiritual connection. And our inner system, our spiritual system, is the highest form of technology that exists. There is nothing that can ever be created outside of us that is going to be more advanced, pure, and divine than the spiritual system that already exists within your body. And so this discussion today is to really support you in understanding this spiritual system, and to develop ways to purify it, to clear it. And in that, you're going to strengthen your intuition, because your spiritual system is your intuitive channel. It is because our intuition is the ability to see beyond just the physical reality, see beyond just physical existence. When we're able to see beyond physical existence, we are bridging beyond dimensions. We're moving beyond 3D and into higher perception of life. And this is very important. Our intuitive faculty allows us to create this bridge from where we are at, this human 3D consciousness, to the truth of our divinity and oneness with the divine. And so the intuitive channel is the channel through which we understand that, but also directly experience our spiritual self, our higher self, and our oneness with the divine. And so what we're doing when we work with our intuition, right, we're sensing something outside of what we can physically see, physically feel, physically hear, taste, and touch. We are sensing information from other realms, other dimensions. And so with our intuition, we are understanding ourselves as one with the divine. So this intuitive channel is the highest form of technology that actually allows us to be the bridge that communes us with God. And why do people want to develop technology? They want to develop telepathy. They want to develop the ability to travel certain distances faster. These are just two examples. These are things we can actually do spiritually. You don't need technology outside of you to communicate telepathically. In ancient civilizations, the understanding of how to travel across time and space was already understood. We already know how to do that spiritually. How to move your physical self from one space to another through the development of your spiritual body. This already exists within us. The idea that we need technology to do things like this is degenerate. So I'm just going to make sure that you can still hear me. And if you are here, please say hello and continue to put the comments. I can't see them right now. My computer is not showing me them. But I will always go back and respond and connect with you after this live call. But I do want to just make sure that you guys are all with me in the discussion. Okay, amazing. Hello. I wish I could see you all. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're here. Okay, amazing. Oh, okay. LaDonna, Sandy, Erin, amazing. So happy. Oh, and Dee, I think you're here as well. Okay, I just wanted to say hi. I'm so happy you're here with me. All right. So good. It sounds like you can hear me. We're in the flow, we're in the energy. This is amazing. So, we are at such an important time of our life where the development of technology outside of the body will lead to the distortion of our spiritual body. It is degenerate. And it's going to further disconnect us from communing with God. It's important that we are fully awake, clear, and aware of how the physical body, the energy bodies, and energy system needs to be developed so that we can evolve spiritually. So this is, again, my intention for today, so that you truly understand the spiritual importance of your inherent divine blueprint and how to awaken it through your own intuition. Okay? So I hope you're excited for this discussion because, again, it can feel like just at this time of life, it feels like there is going to be so much more technology coming out. And we have to be spiritually prepared for that. Unfortunately, when we try to advance technology beyond our own spiritual advancement, the technology does become hijacked by lower forces because it's created by humans. It's not an inanimate object. Anything can be influenced by vibration, by energy, by forces. And so when we're creating things that is beyond our own spiritual technological development of our own soul and intuitive faculty, we are moving to something that we do not actually understand. Our human mind cannot comprehend. And so we have to be very cautious of what's happening, how much we engage with certain technology, not fearing, not living with fear, but the power is having this wisdom of saying, I will never give the sovereign power of my own intuitive channel away to anything outside of me. It's doing the actual spiritual initiation work to develop yourself, develop your divine blueprint, to commune with the divine. And ultimately, this is what we're doing, right? Especially you women here committed to your divine mission. And I just say that because that's the work I do. My business is like divine mission alchemy. We are here to alchemize ourselves, alchemize the lower impulses, any lower aspects of ourselves, like living this path of true spiritual alchemy so that we can be this clearest channel for the divine. So it's leading our divine mission in communion with the divine. Of course, we can't perfect that because we're imperfect. And that is okay. But the willingness and the commitment, that is what matters. Okay. All right. So let's go a little bit deeper about this technology that's happening. So our intuitive abilities, again, are not something that we either have or we don't have. And if you've ever kind of questioned that a little bit, if you still somewhat have a doubt, am I intuitive, am I not? Like, just clear that completely. Like, that just has to go in the trash. Just put it in the trash because you are intuitive. Everyone is intuitive. It is not a gift that just some people have. Some people definitely have, it comes easier for them. It is more developed. That's because they developed their soul, their spiritual bodies in other lifetimes. They came into this life with already a level of development of their energy system. They have access to those higher realms just easier and quicker at a different period of their life. But that doesn't mean it's always going to remain. Sometimes someone can have that really strong intuitive development and then it fades away because they're not an understanding of how to continue to strengthen your intuitive gifts over time. And this is something moving forward, if you do want to go deeper, I'm going to be offering a 3-day training that's going to teach you how to keep the momentum of your intuitive gifts going if you feel like you're stuck or they're not as clear, if you just want to get them moving more. So at this time on earth, we are easily drawn outwards, right? We're drawn towards social media, collective chaos, dramatic narratives, and of course, technology. There's just this like frenzy, this feeding frenzy for our energy, for our life force by lower impulses and lower forces. So even those who live consciously, so those of you who probably like to think we live consciously, right, can easily get pulled into the tide of external distractions. It's very easy because once your energy gets hooked into something, it almost becomes unconscious how much you're feeding into it until you just are like, oh my God, I have to actually unplug, choose to step away. So when we are attuned to this chaos and disorder of the external world, what's happening is we're feeding our life force to these external systems that do not provide life. They are these external systems that are taking life, that feed off life in order to keep their system going, which is very different than the heavenly angelic realms, which when you connect into the heavenly and angelic realms, there is an infinite supply of life force. You are connecting in and being refilled, renourished. So when you're connected to these external systems of chaos, of disorder outside of you, what happens is you start to become numb to your own self, numb and disconnected to your own soul, and numb and disconnected to the wisdom of the divine that's flowing through you, the guidance, the messaging that's flowing through. So this is the work that we're really focusing on doing today. In what way are you actually numbing yourself to yourself by unconsciously giving your power over to something outside of you, whether it be technology, whether it be drama, whether it be politics, whatever it might be. And consciously choosing to bring yourself back to your center is quite radical. Those forces outside of you do not want you to bring your energy back to your center, because when you are back at your center, where are you attuning to? You're attuning to the truth of who you are. You're tuning to the Christ within. And when you attune to the Christ within, you become opened to the divine grace of God guiding you, the wisdom, the evolution, the current of evolution and transformation that can flow into your life. So in order to feel that connection with God, to feel that that magnetic pull. So at first, when you're just developing this sense of self and connection to your divine blueprint within, it might feel like you're getting pulled out very easy. But over time, as you really understand your energy system, you know this, it's like a fingerprint. It's your unique knowing, this feeling, a sense of divinity within you, this sovereign power, this connection to your own life force. That becomes such a strong magnetic field that becomes louder than the external forces. And you're just able to gravitate back in. And through that, your intuition develops and you perceive and understand God. And then, of course, you perceive and understand your mission more, yourself more. And you can also serve. If you serve professionally with your intuitive gifts, your intuition becomes a lot more clear. So developing our intuition is not just about psychic readings, right? It's not just about communicating with spiritual beings. That's a part of it. That happens naturally. Primarily what we're talking about right now is developing your intuition is about activating the divine blueprint of your body and soul, so that you come to know who you really are as one with God through direct experience. Okay, so we are now living in a world that, as we see, is becoming very saturated with external technology. AI is, what we're seeing of the technology, the collective, this has already been in place for much longer. It's just, we're just being fed it now. But the technology that actually exists that we are not seeing is on a completely different level. And these things are going to start getting rolled out especially over the next 5 years. So we cannot develop technology beyond our spiritual development or technology will become degenerate and it will be used by lower forces. Okay, but unfortunately, this is what's happening. Technology is being pushed by those who are not spiritually aware, spiritually awake. And so when technology is created, it's an extension of the human. At this point, technology becomes an extension of the human. So whoever's creating the technology, that is the impulse through which the technology is going to, the frequency at which that technology will operate. So just for example, like I've already talked about this, but trying to keep the physical body alive through overuse of like mechanical means, this is degenerate. The idea that we can just try to keep the physical body alive through all of these external or mechanical means is degenerate. That's a misunderstanding of what it means to be a soul in the human body. And it's an attachment to the material world that leads to degeneration. Technologies such as Neuralink, such as things that connect you, try to merging your consciousness with technology, again, is extremely degenerate. We already have the capacity to connect with each other, to access information at a much new information, higher level information, a much higher level than technology will ever be able to do. Thinking we can go to another planet and leave Mother Earth, Mother Earth is the extension, like we are an extension of her body, that is extremely degenerate. It's not understanding that we cannot spiritually evolve as a human off the planet Earth. Our physical body and energy system is in such coherence with Mother Earth that if we step off of it, that stops the evolution, the cosmic evolution process that needs to take place in coherence with Mother Earth. So all of these ideas of growth and evolution and technological advances, they're degenerate because there's a misunderstanding of what it means to spiritually evolve. So our body is perfectly designed to merge with God, to awaken everlasting life. Everlasting life, eternal life, that actually exists, but it doesn't happen by trying to keep this physical body alive by external forces. It happens through transubstantiation of the physical form. And I'll talk a little bit about that today. So we are also designed to evolve alongside Mother Earth's body. We have to awaken the spiritual system within. Okay, but awakening, so why is this happening, right? Why is there such a desire to develop all this external technology? Is because, of course, on a soul level, we want to evolve. Of course. And so to someone who doesn't understand or desire to understand their spiritual technology of evolution, they will look for means outside of them to do so. But why? It's because they're unwilling to face something within them. In order for us to access the highest form of our spiritual technology within, we have to purify all of the lower forces, all of the lower impulses within us, purify the lower ego. That is not easy work. That is initiation. That is alchemy. That is so individuals who do not want to face their darkness simply merge with the darkness. I'm going to say this again. Individuals who do not want to face their own darkness will merge with the darkness. We have to face the darkness, be willing to transform it, untangle ourselves from it. And then we can rise and choose consciously the Christ stream and return to the angelic realm. So the development of your soul is required in order to ascend. Through your intuitive channel, you perceive, merge, and awaken into the light of Christ, and then activate into God. So I'm just going to take a moment to look if there's any comments, since I can't see it on my computer. Actually, maybe let me refresh it. Oh. Well, the refreshing is not working. It's just now trying to load. Okay, so I'm going to take a look here to see if you guys have any comments. Okay, got lots of comments. Here we are. Okay. Oh, Nikki, amazing. Interested in the 3-day. Amazing. Yeah, I will talk more about that at the end. It's going to be a 3-day initiation and training experience. It's called Psychic Momentum as a professional intuitive. So it's really just getting that energy flowing again, strengthening your gifts, and talking about what it actually takes to sustain your intuitive gifts for life. To not just have them for a moment and then they drop off, but what it actually requires to professionally offer you intuitive gifts throughout the course of your life. Maria, hello. Oh, so happy you're here. I needed this message, such an important time to go inward. Yes. Amazing. Thank you all so much for telling me that you're here. I love you all so much. I appreciate you. Okay, great. We're going to move on to the next part. Let's keep on flowing together. Please, again, feel free to keep the comments going, as I will respond and I will tune into them. And also any questions you have, please feel free. We're still going to be going for another 45 minutes and I have so much juicy wisdom to share with you. Okay, so next part is about understanding your spiritual system. So I just, spewed for about a half hour about how much we got to go in. The technology, it's not it. There's a healthy, okay, I should say this. It's not that all technology is inherently bad. Okay, it's not that technology is bad. We have to use it wisely and we have to develop spiritually alongside the development of technology. That is all. Technology is a wonderful tool. I use it every single day. It's how I work with my clients through the use of the computer, of Zoom. I don't use actually AI for any of my business stuff. I don't think I ever will. I'm not interested in connecting into that energy field or using its system. So that's where I'm at right now. Maybe another point, I don't know if I'll change my mind on that. I even remember sharing a year ago or so when we started hearing about AI come out. I remember making a post like, I will never use AI to write my content ever. And so if you see spelling mistakes in my content, which happens quite often, I actually love it because I'm like, it's real. Like I'm literally writing, it's all being channeled. For me, that's so important because AI is regurgitating information that's already known. I'm not interested in that fully. Yes, we need to understand history. We need to understand our past. Yes, there's so much information we can learn from currently, but I'm also want to keep my channel open to what God is channeling through, what my guides are bringing through, what is important right now that AI can't comprehend. So I really like to just be in the channel, write my own content and so on. But not all technology is bad. Not all use of it is bad by any means. And there can be really powerful ways to use it as a tool to help us in this life. All right. So let's talk about your inner spiritual system. I've been talking so much about what your divine blueprint is, what your spiritual system is. So let's define it. Now, this is kind of going to be a discussion on energetic anatomy. And I've been working with energetic anatomies for over a decade now because I am fascinated by how we are able to genuinely experience God in our body. And this is what we're meant to do. We're designed to do. And when we have that actual experience of the divine birthing through our body, it transforms our physical body into light. And this is the process of spiritualization, of self-realization, of the glorification of our physical form into higher consciousness. It's direct experience. And through direct experience, we come to know ourselves. And the only way we can have direct experience is if our energy system is capable of having that experience. If our energy system is not able to actually hold the container, the experience, the frequency, the flow of the divine, we will not experience it. So the spiritual system that needs to be developed to strengthen our intuitive channel and have this direct experience of who we really are is our energy bodies, our energy channels, and our energy centers. So I'm going to focus a lot more on the energy bodies because I think it'll bring a little bit more context for you about how we move through this permeation of veils, so to speak. And that's kind of, in the Eastern tradition, these energy bodies were called like sheaths, the koshas. And these sheaths are like coverings of the true self. And so what we're doing is we are piercing those sheaths, those veils, into higher perception. But most people are stuck in this first sheath, which is the human, the physical form. They're seeing only with their physical eyes. They're perceiving only with their physical senses. Like that's what they just believe, that it's the material world and that's it. Okay, so the first body that we're going to discuss, of course, is our physical body. Now, our physical body is created through the substance and materials and of Mother Earth. And it is the avenue through which our divinity, our higher self, can experience material life. Without the creation of the human form, spirit, our own spirit, our own higher self, wouldn't be able to interact with physical creation. And it took many, thousands upon thousands of years of spiritual evolution, so to speak, or descension, because we were coming from a higher consciousness into a denser consciousness, to perfect the human form so that we could experience ourselves, our higher self, our divinity, in this material plane. And then the journey back is by re-spiritualizing our dense form into higher light. So in order for that to happen, it's genuine transubstantiation. It's transforming the physical into spiritual. This is genuinely what's happening to our physical body when we have spiritual experiences. I'm going to explain more about this a little bit, and this is a really important mystery. It connects to the resurrection mysteries and the understanding of what it means to self-realize, to develop the etheric body, and to no longer be connected into the conscious death process, and no longer be connected into that unconscious death process, rebirth and death process. So we have this physical form, which is the descended form of the angelic realms. Within our DNA is the encodement of our divinity. I'll speak more about that in a little bit as well. But this is how we connect with the material world, okay? Then we have the etheric body. So the etheric body is generated by the physical body. It is also generated by the astral realm and our spiritual body, because true life energy only does come from the divine. It comes from the source of life. But the etheric body is very much this energy field that's very close to our physical body. It's like almost an energetic double of our physical body. And this is very important because the etheric body, when it is weakened, our physical body becomes a lot more susceptible to physical diseases, attachments, energetic attacks, When our etheric body is strong and vital, we are just more actually protected, spiritually protected. We have more of an access to life force energy flowing into our body. Because again, the etheric is that next layer that is this bridge that's connecting our human physical awareness to the higher realms, to the next level of the higher realms. So the development of our etheric body also happens over lifetimes. Typically the human body, the physical body, once you leave this life, that's gone. You're not having this human form ever again. The etheric body you can develop over time, but after you actually leave this human body, if you haven't fully glorified your etheric body, which I'll talk about that in a moment, your etheric body, because it is an energetic double of your physical body, it also dissolves away. And when you reincarnate and come into another physical body, you will have an etheric double of that body. And it's not like you're starting from scratch though, because there's already soul memory of your level of initiation that you've taken in the previous life. And it's your commitment and individual will to choose to develop that strengthening of your etheric body. So again, the simplest way is the etheric is the bridge between your physical and then the astral body. So the next body is the astral. This is what we would define as our people connect to with our soul, right? It's like this deep, the soul that we take with us, this individual spark of the divine. It's our individuality on the spiritual planes. It's how we move through the astral realm. In the astral realms, there's the lower astral realms, which are where the fallen angels, the lower demonic forces exist, and there are higher astral realms, which is the angelic realms. And so it's how we, depending on the information, the attachments within our soul, we journey through different spaces within the astral for our own development. So the astral, again, it's our soul. It contains mental and emotional information. This is why sometimes there's certain situations that in other lifetimes, you come into this lifetime, there's still something you have to heal from the other lifetime. And other ways, a more positive way, is that your soul holds on to experiences, initiations, and gifts. And a lot of the work I do with women is about reclaiming the soul gifts, that soul memory of your other lives, so that you are stepping into this life with that full reclamation of who you are, the gifts you have, the power you have to lead this mission, to continue with your mission in this lifetime. Okay, so the astral realm, again, it's a higher body, our astral body. It still is a body that needs purification, healing. We hold karmic wounding, soul imprints, soul trauma, things that we carry, emotional, mental imprints within our soul that we carry across lifetimes. So our physical, our etheric, and our astral body, they need to be purified. And this is the spiritual work we're doing, is we're purifying these energy bodies. So I hope you're getting to see a little bit of an image here. We have the physical. When the physical body is light, we're moving the body, purifying the body, it's more open and receptive to the etheric body. When the etheric body is strong and clear and full of life force, your bridge to the astral realm becomes a lot more clear and easier. When you're tuned into the astral realm, you are tuned into cosmic information. You are tuned into the Akashic records, to the angelic realms, to your spiritual guides. So the clarification of your bodies is the bridge through which you can perceive yourself, higher realms, and guidance outside of this life, outside of this physical reality. Okay, so then the fourth body is our causal body, our spiritual body, or our higher self. It's that part of us that's actually already perfected, never fell or descended from being one with God. That's the beauty, is that we have never actually fully left. We are always, always one with the divine. And this always brings so much comfort to my soul, because what we're doing is not trying to go out and grasp something we lost. We're releasing all that we are, so we simply remember. And as we release all that we aren't, the remembrance just blooms. It's so beautiful, it's so effortless. And this is why I feel so powerful, potent, and I care so deeply about the feminine mysteries, because it is that blooming within, it is that remembrance, it is that surrendering process that allows that direct experience of the divine. And what's so beautiful is when we have that direct experience, we purify, we activate all these energy bodies, and we just grow in greater perception. Okay, so those are our energy bodies. Now, transubstantiation, as I mentioned earlier, is genuinely transforming physical substance into spiritual substance. This is just ancient knowing of the mysteries of resurrection. True initiates of the Christ impulse, of Christ consciousness, glorified their etheric body through their own purification, spiritual initiation, self-mastery, became completely merged with the light of God, that their body, their etheric body, became so activated with light that their physical body merged with the etheric body. And this is why some people can, when they pass on, they're literally, it's like they're floating away. Their physical body no longer exists. It transubstantiates. It transformed from the physical into the spiritual. And this is what happened with the resurrection of the Christ. His physical body was not there anymore. It literally transformed into light. So this is the teachings, right, of the Christ, is that the Christ is within us. We are on the journey of our own transubstantiation, of our own transformation from physical back to the spiritual, back to the angelic realm. And we have this wisdom within us. So we have a divine blueprint. The genes within our physical body, within our cells, hold and contain energetic and spiritual information. And we just know this as well because even existing in this physical world, we know that certain stressful circumstances will turn on certain genes that cause the disease, that can cause certain cancers. And on the other end, when certain circumstances are healing and nurturing and loving, it changes the genetic activation. And different genes will turn on for health and well-being. And so even just our physical environment changes the expression of our genes. When you change the spiritual environment of your body, physical, energetic, and spiritual, your genetic expression changes. And so again, you have a divine genome. We are descended from the angelic realm. We are again made in the actual image of God. We have all of the wisdom inside of us to activate the truth of who we are. We have to create the right environment for that. And so through this spiritual and actual initiation work, we are literally transforming ourselves from within and activating the highest form of technology within, which is this sacred intuitive channel, this sacred merging with the divine on every level of existence, not just perception, but spiritually, physically, energetically. So this is so important because this is what we need to be doing as the collective. As the evolution process of all humans on earth, this is the Christ impulse. This is the self-realization of all individuals back into the light of God. It's through this level of initiation and spiritual awakening within the body. Okay, so one way, another aspect of this, I'll just briefly mention, because I want to talk a little bit about how to develop your intuition a little bit more and connect into these energy centers. But of course, we also have to be aware of, in alignment with our energy system, is our energy channels. So we have in Eastern teachings or yogic teachings, they're called nadis, energy channels. And there are these thousands and thousands of moving energy lines throughout the entire body. They're communicating with each other. And these energy channels do get stuck with information. And I have done thousands and thousands. I've done thousands of hours of Reiki and intuitive readings. And whenever I'm doing energy healings, what we're looking at is the energy channels and the chakras, because through purifying the energy channels and the chakras, already you create a bridge to connect with your energy bodies. Already you're developing your intuitive connection, and already you're then strengthening your ability to actually be a receptor, a receiver of the divine, of the remembrance of the divine within the body. But what I see so often in these healings is that these energy channels and energy centers, the chakras, become extremely stagnant, stuck, and sticky with information. And this is normal. It's emotional information, it's mental information, it's trauma, it's wounding, it's reactivity, it's toxins from our environment. We live in a world where we have to be conscious of our purification process on every level: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. We have to have proper hygiene on all levels. And that's what I'll talk a little bit about at the end, so you can move forward just with some sense of what you can do to develop yourself. But we have to purify ourselves in order to keep this intuitive channel open and have this greater perception of the divine. Okay, so the energy channels, the three major energy channels to be aware of is the Ida and the Pingala. The Ida is the feminine channel that's running alongside the left side of your spine. The Pingala is the masculine fire energy center that's running through up the right side of your spine. And these are the main energy channels in your body that channel the raw, pure, divine mother, divine feminine essence. And the Pingala, the divine, pure, raw, divine masculine essence. And we have to bring harmony of those energies within in order to connect the central channel, which this energy channel is through which we ascend from the lower impulses into the higher awareness of who we are. Okay? So these energy channels support the flow and the movement of energy. And then we have the energy centers. So these are where a lot of the energy channels are flowing into. So if there's a center where many energy channels are flowing into, we would call that an energy center, a vortex of energy. These vortexes of energy are very important because they are, when we connect to them, they are clear psychic portals to our soul. Connecting with the root chakra, the sacral, the solar, the heart, the throat, third eye, and the crown, they're literally doorways to our higher self. They are doorways through which you can step into your soul. So purifying these are very important so you can understand yourself and experience God. So development of our spiritual energy happens over many, many lifetimes as well. If we do not develop, we degenerate. Our development of our spiritual system is simply attuning to the divine blueprint that already exists within us. This process returns us to the Christ and therefore to the divine, the creator, great spirit, source, whatever word you use. It is within that we rise, but not through the use of technology outside of us. Okay, so I have one more part to speak with you on. I'm going to take a moment to see if there's any comments or questions that came through. And again, in about 20 minutes, once we end, I'm going to put in for the draw who's going to win a free 60-minute session with me, intuitive reading. So if you still have 20 more minutes or so, stay till the end so you could potentially win that free experience. Here we are. Okay. Erin, I just saw your question here, the 5 sheaths. And let me just pull those up quick because I don't know the name of the 5 sheaths off the top of my head, the Sanskrit name of them. So one second, I have them right here. Okay, so the koshas, which are the sheaths, we have the Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body, the pranayama kosha, which is the breath body, which would be considered more of like the etheric body. Then we have the manomaya kosha, which is the mental body, the Vyanamaya kosha, which is the wisdom body, and the manomaya kosha would be considered more of like the astral, and the Vyanamaya kosha would be considered more of our higher self. And then the Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body, like that is the absolute core of source within us. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. And let me see what other comments came through. Here we are. Yeah. Oh, Nikki, great. Yeah, you had that feeling, but then it dropped off. Yep, this happens so often with, and what Nikki's referring to is that development and feeling the intuition channeling, it's flowing, and it's like, oh my gosh, where did it go? Did I lose it? It's like, no, you didn't lose it. But we have to continue to build a strong foundation to keep the momentum of our psychic abilities going, because there's a lot of reasons why we lose our intuition, and we're going to go deeply into that in the psychic momentum course. And I'm going to share with you what I have done for the last 8 years of professionally offering intuitive readings. I offer professional intuitive readings weekly for almost weekly for 8 years, and I'm also using my intuition in many other ways. And so I wanted to really share with you how to keep this going, so it doesn't feel like something that's coming and going, but you can actually fully serve at your highest potential without feeling like the intuition is coming and going. LaDonna, I love hearing this connected to my functional medicine training. Yes, with the epigenetic aspect of health and disease. Yep. Okay, how do you protect your own spiritual self in this environment? Amazing. So when I get into some of the practices you can do, I'll share a little bit more about how to continue to protect yourself spiritually and through your intuition. Okay. I think that was all the questions. Oh no. Okay, amazing. All right, so let's keep going. Last part that we have is just understand how do you develop this? How do you strengthen your intuitive gifts and continue to make sure you are in alignment with yourself instead of getting pulled into this external system of technology? I mean, first and foremost, just being in this discussion today, you're already so much more aware. You're already now going to be like, oh my God, I can feel my energy being fed into these systems. Absolutely not. I don't consent to that. No. The only thing I want to be connected into is God. Like, that's it. That is it. Okay. Anything else, anything of lower frequency, nope. So just this discussion, just this awareness is going to really bring such an awareness to where your energy is draining in other places. Okay, so as you purify your energy bodies, and we'll talk about how to do that, you're going to be awakening your connection to your higher bodies. And naturally, you start perceiving beyond this world. And I love that we did this live on the energetic port, the astrological center point for Samhain, which is that time before, in between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice, and this thinning of the veils. We're going into a time of darkness. When we go into the time of darkness, our spiritual senses awaken, because we're not as connected to the material. The material isn't the main focus, it's this inward journey. So we're already at a time in this life, if you're in the northern hemisphere, of tuning into this the ability to perceive beyond the veils. And this is why I wanted to bring forward, I'll talk about this a little bit at the end, but my sacred intuitive mentorship, which I usually run in the spring or summertime. This year is like, this actually needs to happen on the winter solstice. And so I'm going to be leading my 3-month sacred intuitive mentorship on the winter solstice at this time where the veils are thin, where intuitive perception is strong. You can really develop your intuitive abilities there. Okay, so you're going to be working on perceiving beyond this world. So let's talk about what those senses are. Okay, we have clairvoyance, which is clearly seeing spirit. So again, it's like seeing images potentially in your mind, or you're going on a visualization journey, or you get like a image or a movie scene. You're seeing things within the mind's eye. Clairsentience, you're clearly feeling spirit, which is very much like empathy and empaths. You can just feel everything, right? Not just feeling emotional information in the present, but you can also feel emotional imprints from the past or even the future. Clairaudience is clearly hearing spirits. You might be hearing angelic sounds, the voice of your guides, the sound of Om, the holy sound of divine, the Holy Spirit, the vibrational pulse of life. Claircognizance is clearly knowing spirit. So this is where a lot of people work with their intuition, is this claircognizant faculty. And this is why most people doubt their intuition as well, is because when you receive claircognizant information, you're getting mental downloads. It's as if you're having a conversation in your mind. So it's within your own voice, right? So it's like you're thinking your own thought, but it's a download. It's an information that's coming not from like a thought that you're thinking, but something being shown to you or shared with you or spoken to you. And so this is the claircognizant information. Clairalience and clairgustance are a little bit not as used as often, but it is an aspect of our astral. So clairalience is like the tasting of spirit. It's tasting potentially something that's it's not there. It's not physically there. Clairgustance is smelling something. So having this like psychic sense come in, sometimes like the smell of roses. I've heard people from their ancestors that passed on, the smell of cigarette smoke sometimes comes when they're connecting with them. So these are just, again, the psychic senses. The clairs are senses that you already have these, because this is how you sense when you're not in the physical body. Your physical senses are very in your face to you because you're very attached to the physical body. When you start realizing yourself outside of the physical body, you realize you have so many more senses. And this is that journey of spiritualizing yourself. You begin to identify more with the etheric, with the astral, with these higher aspects of you, and you just become more aware of your soul wisdom and your psychic senses that are a part of your astral body. So when you attune to your psychic senses, you are attuning to your astral body and therefore perceiving beyond the physical senses. This is what it means to be a psychic, is to see beyond this world, to sense beyond this world. So you pierce the veil that separates this world and enter into the higher worlds, so to speak. And then you're able to access different levels of information. Okay? So let's talk about what you can do just moving forward from today to develop, to purify your spiritual system so that you are developing your sacred spiritual technology within, and you're developing your intuitive channel for this divine connection, for true spiritual attunement with the Christ impulse to enter into the channel, the cosmic force to the divine. Okay, so first and foremost, to take care of the physical body, it's aligned living, right? Like, what does that mean for you? I trust that many of you who are here on this call have already done some level of spiritual development, and you know that that goes hand in hand with the well-being of your physical body. So cleansing the body, drinking water, getting good rest. No, not overdoing it, physically overdoing it, nourishing yourself, eating healthy food. Notice what addictions you might have. What are you putting in your body that's actually not serving your physical body, that lowers your vibrations? Okay, so really thinking about aligned living, and also physically, that also means knowing where are you placing your body? Who are you engaging with? How much are you holding your phone? How much is the phone on your body? Is the conversations you're having draining your energy of lower vibration? Are you putting yourself in situations that you know are not in alignment for you? So just contemplating aligned living. That's like a course in itself, but again, just physical attunement. And times where life is really hard, when you're going through times of challenges, what we often tend to do is fall into patterns where we go into addictive behaviors. We disassociate more. We go on to social media. We get involved in drama. We get sucked into lower vibrations. If you're going through a challenging time, this is even more important that you are fine-tuning your body. You are exercising. You are nourishing your body. You're drinking water. You're purifying your liver. You're nourishing your gut. Like that is the time. Because if you're going through a challenging time and you continue to feed into lower impulses, it's only going to disconnect you more from your intuitive self. Challenging times does not mean you're disconnected from God. It's how we behave in response to the challenging times that disconnects us from the divine. Okay, so we also then need to cleanse our spiritual bodies, our energy bodies. You can do this through, if you work with energy healing, using Reiki to clear your energy bodies. But just meditating, moving through spiritual initiation experiences, being in nature, having experiences of that love, of unconditional love of God, of divine grace, that descension of that light purifies all of your energy bodies. So it's creating an environment for you and practices that where you actually have that felt experience of the divine, whatever that might be for you. Okay, then we got to unlock our chakras, right? Keep the energy flowing so that the channel, the communication from our physical body to our higher realms, higher dimensions is clear. So the unlocking the chakras and energy channels is through certain breathwork practices, Reiki, spiritual study. Spiritual study is very important to move energy and develop yourself and activate codes of remembrance. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment to see what other questions you might have. I know this was, just kind of getting you started with developing this. But again, if you want to go deeper into developing your intuition, I recommend going on that 3-month journey on the winter solstice. So this is called the Sacred Intuitive, and it's a 3-month advanced journey training that is both a training and a spiritual experience to develop both your personal and your professional intuitive gifts. So you're creating the foundation of making sure your intuitive gifts are really strong, anchored in, and embodied, and then you are taking that next step or amplifying the steps you've already taken to offer your gifts professionally. And so it's a very well-rounded course to really support you in this next stage. And of course, all of this is going to be included: the purification of your energy bodies, the purification of the chakras, the understanding of how to open your channel so that it's not like you're trying to make your intuition work. It just works. because you are in alignment. Okay. So I'm just going to look at your questions. If there are any. Okay. I don't think there's any other new questions or any comments or anything that you want to share. Jess, hello. Amazing. Okay, so we are towards the end. And again, if you want to really take the study of your intuitive development deeper, I invite you into the Sacred Intuitive Mentorship. So that is going to be, and I know I mentioned 2 different experiences. So let me explain what I was talking about first with the Psychic Momentum course, which is coming up at the beginning of December. And then we have let's see if I can even put a comment in. Let me see. Okay, I can't. I will put that comment in for that link right when we close off for this call. So if you just come back to this live video, you will be able to see both the links for the Sacred Intuitive and then the Psychic Momentum. So let me just explain those really quick, and then we'll pull the winner for who's going to be receiving the intuitive reading with me. So again, the 3-month is really designed to support you in offering professional intuitive readings or working with your intuitive gifts through your channel of divine service. So it might not be offering directly intuitive readings. It might be. Maybe that's something you want to step into. It's just saying, I am a clear channel. I am a clear channel for my divine mission, and I'm serving through that clear channel. So this mentorship is a just complete focus on the intuitive development of yourself personally, and then taking the next step to professionally develop your skills. So it's really an immersion into understanding how to create a grounded foundation for your intuition. But something that I have not focused yet in this mentorship and training is what it takes to sustain yourself as an intuitive for your life. So you may have had moments of like lucidity in your intuition, and moments where it's like the intuition is flowing, ideas, creation, that connection with God is flowing, and then it feels like, where did that go? And I want to guide you on the process of how to actually create momentum where it doesn't feel like your intuition is disconnecting, but it continues to grow and expand even while you're doing it professionally. Because offering intuitive readings or offering your intuitive gifts professionally requires a completely different level of understanding of yourself than just doing it personally. Because without this understanding, you will drain yourself over time. You will lose the momentum in your psychic abilities, and you can also connect into lower energies and actually feel depleted from the work you're doing, which we don't want to feel depleted. You came here to serve, to divinely offer your gifts. And so it's about making sure you're nourished and offering the clearest and purest frequencies possible through your intuitive work. So I want to share the wisdom that I've gained over the last 8 years of being a professional intuitive, and how to not only strengthen your intuitive gifts, but to nourish yourself through correct spiritual attunement, so that you're not draining yourself in the process of your intuitive service. So this 3-day training and initiation is called Psychic Momentum as a professional intuitive. So it's for you if you're already working professionally, and also those who are interested in working professionally with their intuitive gifts for divine service. This is new material. It has never been a part of the Sacred Intuitive. I've been leading the Sacred Intuitive for 4 years now. And so this is new material. And if you join the Sacred Intuitive Mentorship, that 3-month journey, you will get Psychic Momentum for free. It'll just be included. The Psychic Momentum course will be held 3 days. It's December 4th, 5th, and 6th. And again, if you want to just purchase that by itself, you can. It's $111. But if you feel like you want to take the whole journey, really develop yourself as an intuitive, when you enter into sacred intuitive, you just get psychic momentum included. So again, for the first part of psychic momentum, it's about the truth of what being a professional intuitive is. The second aspect is sustainability, how to actually sustain yourself. And then the third part is a spiritual initiation process. It's very important that you're not just taking in information, but you have direct initiation taking place. Like what we talked about earlier with the transubstantiation of your physicality into spirituality, it's important that you're having this level of initiation taking place, so that your intuition is authentically developing. So this will be held on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can directly message me if you want the link, or I will come back to this live video and I will post that comment immediately once this is done, because I unfortunately don't have access to my comments right now. All right, so let me know if you have any questions as well. I'm very available. Send me a message about anything. Now, please go ahead and put in the comments your name if you would like to be entered into the draw for the free one-on-one intuitive reading. And I'm going to pull your names from here. And we're going to see who's going to win this free experience. So, okay, amazing. I see Nikki, Erin, maybe too much for me, and then no. Maybe too much for an end note. The way the masculine forces prey on young girls. Yep, to lower forces. I have the fear that when I'm in pure form, I will become prey. Okay, this is really important. We're actually going to be talking about this, LaDonna, in the Psychic Momentum course. We're going to go very deep into this discussion of the demonic and lower realms and how to have, because this is the reason why we do not grow spiritually. Part of it is because, like, if I am clear, if the more light I become, the more susceptible I am to the dark forces. And so we're going to go very deep into the understanding of the lower astral, the lower impulses, the demonic realms, so that you can really enter into your psychic gifts with an understanding of both the light and the dark, and know that you are choosing the Christ impulse, the light impulse. Okay. So who else do I have here? So I have Nikki and Erin. If I'm not seeing, what I might do is just, because I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, let me actually change to newest. Because on the phone, okay, I'm not seeing all your comments, unfortunately, so I don't want to pull you guys' names and not get everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to actually look at your comments on my computer. I'm going to gather all of your names, and within 5 minutes you will see a post in this space where I'll tag you, the winner who got the free one-on-one. And also come back to this live, because I'll have the links for the Sacred Intuitive as well as the Psychic Momentum course. Psychic Momentum is the 3-day training. Sacred Intuitive is the 3-month advanced training for developing your intuition. If you step into the Sacred Intuitive, you will get the Psychic Momentum automatically. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me on this deep, beautiful discussion. I'm so grateful you were here with me today. All right, mwah, all my love. I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.